In 1994, a small skate shop opened on Lafayette Street in New York City. There was no advertising, no investors, no long-term plan. And yet, that shop would become the foundation of one of the most influential streetwear brands in history. This is not a story about hype. It is a story about place. New York City in the early 1990s was raw. Soho was still gritty. Lower Manhattan had not been transformed by luxury brands. Skateboarding existed on the margins of the city. Most major skate brands came from California. Their clothing reflected suburban West Coast culture, but New York skaters lived differently. They skated crowded streets. They wore clothes that had to survive concrete. There was a gap, and someone noticed it. His name was James Jebbia. Jebbia was born in the United States and raised partly in England. There, he absorbed British youth culture, punk music, football casuals, and underground style. After returning to New York, he worked in retail throughout the 1980s. He worked at a downtown store called Parachute, which sold early streetwear brands like Stussy. Later, he became a partner at Union, New York City, a store known for curation and authenticity. None of this was preparation for a fashion empire. It was simply experience. In April of 1994, James Jebbia opened a store at 274 Lafayette Street. He called it Supreme. At the time, Supreme was not a fashion brand. It was a skate shop. But it was designed differently than any skate shop before it. The store had a wide open floor. Benches lined the walls. Clothing was placed high above eye level. This was intentional. Jebbia wanted skaters to walk in with their boards, skate through the space, sit down, talk, and leave. There was no pressure to buy anything. Supreme was not built for customers. It was built for skaters. The shop quickly became a gathering place. Influential skaters like Mark Gonzalez spent time there. Members of the Zoo York skate scene passed through regularly. Artists, musicians, and filmmakers began showing up, not because they were invited, because the space felt real. In the beginning, the clothing barely mattered. Supreme sold skateboards, wheels, and simple t-shirts. The pieces were heavy, boxy, made in small quantities. One design featured a red box with white text. At the time, it meant nothing. That design was inspired by the work of Barbara Kruger, a conceptual artist known for bold text and red backgrounds. Her art critiqued power, media, and consumerism. James Jebbia never denied the influence. There was no lawsuit, no collaboration, only irony. Supreme also refused to advertise. No billboards, no magazine ads, no commercials. The brand appeared only where it existed naturally, on skaters, in skate videos, and New York streets. For years, nothing exploded. Then, in the late 1990s, international attention began to grow. Japan took notice. In 1998, Supreme opened its first store outside the United States. Not in Paris, not in London, in Osaka, Japan. Demand increased. Lines formed. Resale markets appeared. Supreme slowly became a global name without ever changing its original attitude. The Lafayette Street store remained the same. Same layout, same address, same refusal to explain itself. Supreme did not begin with ambition. It began with a floor plan. A space built for skaters, not consumers. For culture, not commerce. And that is the greatest irony of all. The most influential streetwear brand in history was created by someone who never tried to build one. Thank you for listening.